Hey y'all, Ashanae Justice here with another pick a card reading. And this is what joys have you brought into your life, okay? If this reading resonates, like, share, subscribe, always comment. If it doesn't still, like, share, subscribe, always comment. Thank you. Okay, you could choose from pile 1, pile 2, and if this reading resonates, like, share, subscribe, always comment. If it doesn't still, like, share, subscribe, always comment. And yes, I did think I had 3. I just remembered it's 2. Thank you. All right, y'all. So if you chose the beautiful lady with the green blouse on, this is your reading. All right, so what joys have you brought into your life? You know, what happiness have you created within your own life? How is it standing out from others? What's going on? Okay, it seems like you've learned to release a lot of things that you've been holding on to. Not only things that you've been holding on to for yourself, but things you have been holding on to for others as well. Dead end jobs you let go of, bosses that constantly want to nitpick at you and interrupt your flow. You let go of you release the need to defend yourself at all times, especially when you know they're just picking at you. They just want to interrupt your flow and disrupt what you got going on because of what they got going on, okay? You allowed yourself to plant seeds without trying to continue to run back to make sure that it's growing, make sure that it's constantly being nurtured, like overly nurtured, or just so you could try to rush it to come to fruition. You have allowed yourself to start at step 1 and flow to step 5, step 6, and you're starting to see a lot of your things come to fruition. Start to see them coming up and really just growing into what it is that you need them to grow into. All these new beginnings is because you're willing to open yourself up to taking those new beginnings. You may used to be a little rigid, scared of change, not wanting to release old negative energy because you were used to it. Now you're releasing it. Now you're loving yourself more. Now you're allowing things to come to fruition in its timing versus your timing. Now you're going towards those new beginnings and you're really finding a joy within life on taking these new steps. You're not looking at it as a challenge, or at least like a negative challenge. It's more of a challenge of growth, of not acquiring knowledge, wisdom, experience. It's more of those versus just something negative. Like, oh, I got to start all over at 1. Oh no, now I got, now I'm a beginner even though I'm 50. Like, you're no longer looking at it that way. You know, you're looking at it as a new start, a new beginning, something that can grow and bloom into something beautiful. All right? You're using your discernment more. You're really honing in on your intuition, allowing yourself not only the experiences that you went through, you're using the knowledge you have acquired as well as the unknown knowledge that just comes straight to you. You're allowing your gifts to lead you. You're allowing you to lead you, not just with fear, but more of caution, but as well as still action. You still, you're still a little bit scared. You still can be a little bit timid, but you still go, which is all that matters at the end of the day. You create your own protection. So some, if you get a pew-pew, some might take a boxing class, Taibo class, mixed martial arts class. You've learned to incorporate your own version of protection versus needing someone to always save you or become your protection. You're no longer looking to somebody else to be there for you when you can be there for yourself. Taking alternative taking alternative paths and to learn new methods in order to get through whatever it is that you're going through. Some of you go to crystals, some of you go to magic, some of you go to the physical. So it's so much that anyone can be doing, and you're doing it. You're not just sitting there allowing somebody to come and save you. if anyone is willing to come save you. All right? You keep going no matter what. You don't allow anything to hold you back or down. Even if the load that you're carrying at the time that is current is heavy, you keep going. You keep striving for your goal, for your destiny. You've created boundaries. You no longer allow people to come into your life with their boundaries, but ignore your boundaries. It's no longer you, I appease you, I do what makes you happy, but you can tell me that my happiness doesn't matter or doesn't equate to yours. You're now listening to your guides, listening to your guardian angels. You're going towards the right path for you. Everybody may not agree with the path that you are taking, but for you intuitively, through your guides, through your angels, through whomever it is you pray to, this is your path that you want to take, that you need to take in order to be successful, happy, just enjoying life, because ultimately we need to enjoy life. What's the great to have all the riches in the world and you're unhappy? To be a billionaire, could do any and everything, but you're unhappy. You now allow people to help you. At one point, it was like you wanted people to help you. They didn't come, so you became overly independent, some of you. And then now it's like you're releasing that overly independent you. And it's like, okay, if you want to help, baby, come on. Listen, help me make my life a little bit easier, because you're going to do it for yourself regardless. But it's great to have people that genuinely want to be there and help you along your way on your path. It's great to have that, and you're allowing them to come in and help you if that is what they want to do, as well as you are helping them, okay? You show yourself more respect. I've been around people that have like dogged themselves out. They'll be like, oh, I'm so fat, I'm hideous, I'm a fat ass. They be saying like the meanest things about themselves, and then they expect everyone that surrounds them to not join in or you know, laugh at it, or you know, but not really laugh. Like, they want you to laugh, but they don't want you to really laugh. Like, they don't want you to be like, ha, yeah, you really are a fat ass. Like, they don't want that, but they want you to join in on them. I don't like that. I'm not gonna hold you. I'm not gonna sit here and go back and forth about talking down on yourself, because then you might think it's okay to do it to me, and I don't like that stuff. Don't talk about me, and don't talk about yourself with me. I'm not gonna join in on the laughter. I'm not gonna help you bring your own energy down, because then people turn around and they be like, oh, they just nasty, they talking about me so bad. The whole time it was you talking about you. And I don't like that type of energy, and I believe you don't like that type of energy as well, because it's not, you know, any energy that you should be in anyone. You learned how to say no and stand in it. You learned how to say no, and then that's it. There's no explanation after it. I mean, you know, you can still give explanations towards some people that you want to. It's all up to you if that's what you want to do. But ultimately, no is an answer. And that's it. So you learning how to stand firm in your boundaries, learning how to say no, learning how to release other people's energies, release other people's baggages, as well as yourself. It's like you're starting to just come into you and your groundedness, okay? Develop stronger concentration, okay? You're really focusing on whatever it is that you're trying to create, or that you have created for yourself, and your select few that you allow into your life to help you, to mold you, to push you, whatever the case may be. You're learning how to hone in on those people, focus on those people, as well as what it is that you're creating in your life, because those are the people that you see here in the end. You know how when you start in your 20s, you have lots and lots of friends. Well, by 30, you may be lucky to have 2 or 3. You know, some people are blessed to have 1 million, and that's great for them. But some people are barely pushing 2 or 3, and some people have none at all. They might just have family. They might just, have themselves, their pets, or whatever the case may be. But it's your happiness at the end of the day. And if you can't deal with other people's flaws, drama, how they bring it, then that's understood. You choose to be yourself and alone by yourself with whomever it is that you choose in your circle, and that's great for you. You've learned not to criticize yourself as much as you used to. You've learned how to understand that you make mistakes and you're going to learn from them so that you can, push them into greatness or strengths versus them still being stuck in mistakes, because you're not a mistake. You create mistakes, and therefore you can correct them. All right. You're probably going more around family, or diving deeper into your ancestry, really seeing where your people come from, how your people were established, how far your ancestry tree goes back. You're really diving deep into who you were, who created you, and who created them. And it's just going backwards and backwards to see, did these gifts get passed down? Is this inner knowing from knowledge that was passed down in our DNA? It's like you're just really diving deep into your background and your creation, regardless if you mess with your family, your immediate family members or not. You're really just going deep into you and your life and what you're creating. All right, so that is how you are bringing joy back into your life. If this reading resonates, like, share, subscribe, always comment. If it doesn't still, like, share, subscribe, always comment. Thank you. All right, pal number 2, if you chose the beautiful lady with the pink blouse on, this is your reading for how are you bringing joy back into your life. All right, so this may be my practitioner pal, my spiritualist pal, my stand up and fight no matter what pal, my keep going even when the going seems to want to stop pal. You've learned how to give and receive. You may have had an issue with receiving because of how powerful you are, how much you stand out. You're used to having to be hyper independent, really have to go after what it is that you want, and you never wanted or had to rely on someone else. Maybe as a child, and that is what made you this way, because, they weren't given to you when you needed it, when you were younger and vulnerable. So it's like, why would I need it now? But now you're learning to receive just as much as you give. You're learning more about your lineage and where you come from and where this stemmed from. You could have been hyper independent, passed down from your mother and your mother's mother and your mother's mother. They may have to step up and do what it is that they had to do alone, or even if they were with someone, maybe they had to go off to the, like great grandmothers, their husbands probably had to go off to war, so they had to hold it down at home. They had to hold down a job. They had to make sure that you were home to be fed. They had to make sure that you were safe and secured, all while also making sure themselves was safe and secure, and constantly bringing in money so that you can continue to live and eat and enjoy life, at least for the time being. Your childhood is everything, right? For some people. All right, you've learned how to manifest. Like, you have been manifesting crazily. All right, and it's funny because some things you probably didn't even realize that you brought into your life, because it may be something small that just adds to your joy. Like, let's say that when you were younger, your mom never decorated for the holidays, or your dad never decorated for the holidays because they were constantly at work, or maybe their parents didn't do it and it was just passed down. But now you have started decorating for yourself, for your children, for your family, and it's a small joy and privilege that many do not have, and you manifested that into your life, and you don't even realize, or you probably didn't realize it until you were sitting down and you looked around and you was like, oh my gosh, this is my home. I did this. I created this. I manifested this for me, and it's here. I'm so busy looking at all the big things, and look at the little things that bring me joy. that's here, you know? I feel like you transmuted, you really used your alchemy and honed in on transmuting a negative into a positive. You know, you were given lemons and you created lemonade, and it brought you a joy that others can't take away from you because you created it yourself. You're just now receiving. You're just now allowing people to give to you, to do a back and forth of a give and take. Before then, it was just you making all this happen. So this isn't something that they can take away from you easily. You're learning that each level does require a new devil, but that doesn't mean that you can't have fun along the way. You can't enjoy the perks along the way before having to stand up and, beat the final boss to get to the next level. You still find joy and happiness. It's like, okay, Trump is a president. Majority of America hates it. Of course, some people had to join the bandwagon, but regardless of what he's doing in the White House, the laws that he is creating, you are still finding a way to enjoy life, to be happy with what you have, and how to continue to create even with this quote-unquote dictatorship going on. You're really figuring out your mojo for your life and how you want it to continue and how you want to keep creating for you when it comes to these next levels. Like, even though he's doing this, I can still create and have this. Even though this person, my boss, is giving me a headache and heartache, I'm going to keep acquiring this knowledge so that I can take me and go to the highest bidder and get a better position with higher pay. I'm going to keep working and getting this knowledge, acquiring this, and then I'm going to take my skills on to somewhere else. You find the joy within the silver lining within the situation. You don't allow it to just keep you stuck or keep you down, because if you don't keep going, who's going to keep going for you? Not too many are blessed with a suitor that can, while you're sick and down, they can hold down the house as well as go to work as you usually do. But even if you didn't, you still figured out a way to be able to keep the household running, keep everything flowing while going to work, while having to be a mother, while having to be a wife, while having to be a sister, while having to be a cousin, while having to be an administrator, while having to be a whatever the case may be. And you're really... And Power 1 is also doing this, going back into your ancestry, looking at your lineage, seeing what you're in alignment with, seeing what's flowing to you, not only just your ancestry of your spirit guides, or spirit, your ancestors. You're also looking at your spirit animals. You're looking at different deities. You are going deeper than you normally would. And you're learning how to put their energy or manifest their energy into your situation. And that way, it not only has your backings, it has your ancestors' backings, it has your spirit guide backings, it has everyone backings that you need in order to full force drive this into what it is that you are creating for yourself and your generations after you. And it's very, very beautiful. It's just like, I seen a clip of the Funny Marco in the B2K segment, and Funny Marco was trying to do a joke, and he asked J Boog, was he married, and J Boog of course said yes, and needless to say, it ended with J Boog, because Funny Marco was trying to go to the joke, it ended with J Boog trying to voice out, and we still heard him, that generational wealth. He's trying to create generational wealth. Well, look how when B2K not first started out, because we know the rumors of the first starting out and what was going on behind the scenes. Credit to Raz B, but also taken back from Raz B. So, but what we saw online once they started to do interviews or join TikTok or stuff like that, we started to see their journey and their frustrations with each other. You know, Omarion was not always the victim. Lil Fizz at times was. J Bug at times was. Raz B at times, well, a lot of times was. And then, of course, we seen Omarion, you know, his victim. But needless to say, now they're all coming together, putting their differences aside so they can have that generational wealth. Because ultimately that is, it's time for that, right? And that's what you were seeking. Regardless of what has happened with your friends, your family, whomever, who it is that you choose to give and receive to is what you are aligning with yourself. Okay, and that's what your ancestors, who you're going to be doing an altar on and giving to and receiving as well from. Your spirit guides and different entities, you know? It's the same thing. Ultimately for generations, for the generations after you, as well as yourself, all right? You really went deep into your own void, into your own emptiness, into your own darkness, and you created your own light, your own path, your own way out. And that's not saying that sometimes you don't go back into that void. Sometimes you don't go back into that trauma. Sometimes you don't go back into that hurt. It's just saying you know a way out now. And you continue to utilize that way out, that path out. You balance your dark with your light, okay? You balance your sun with your moon, your rain with your clear skies. You're learning to balance your truth, and at times when you had to be dishonest, or if you had to be dishonest in certain instances. I know dishonesty is a tricky situation for a lot of people, but in some cases, some people feel like it is best to not tell the truth in certain situations in order to get through whatever they're going through. You know, if there's a serial, you know, after you and your child, you're not going to say, hey, there's a after us and they're gonna get us. You're not gonna do that. So you're gonna be a little bit dishonest. We're gonna have to run. We're gonna have to keep running. And we're gonna have to move up out of here. Once we get to safety, I will tell you everything that you need to know. But right now, we're just gonna play a game, and we're gonna get up out of this game, okay? And so a little dishonesty. You learn how to balance your truth and your dishonesty. And you just have to be careful with how far you move within that dishonesty. But still, you balance it, right? Might be a Libra. All right. You learn to keep the faith in what you're creating, what you're manifesting, what you're going towards. Everything does not happen in the timing of right now. Sometimes it happens later or very much later. You could be 20 manifesting something and it don't come to your 60. You know, and you are learning to be okay with that, because you got to realize you're manifesting so much right now. You're not just manifesting this. You manifested that when you were 20. You let it go, moved on, and start manifesting other things, started receiving other things. And then now that you're 60, you have received what it is that you manifested when you were 20. Some things take a while to come to you, but it still comes. And what is it? How does it go? No, it's not even your timing, God's timing. God ain't always, it don't always happen now, but God always, girl, I don't know. I can't remember it, but y'all know that saying. Y'all know that saying. And I'm going to remember it after this video. I'm going to remember after this video. It's going to be so sad. Anyways, so yeah, you learn to merge your path and your faith together. You see, if she steps back, she can see outside that window. But if she steps underneath it, she can't see. All she can see is the ladder climbing up, which means she can only see the path to what she's trying to achieve. And that's what's going on here. You can be all the way down there, but it doesn't matter. You're still going towards your end all be all. And your path is what is an alignment for you and not for others. And a lot of people can be a little bit upset with that. Because they feel like they should know what you're doing when you're doing it and things of that such, but it's not for them to know. It's not for anyone to know. It's only for you, okay? Your resistance is what created this power within you. Your resistance to walk the line, to toe-to-toe, to be the sheep, to be the blind sheep at least, you know, is what allowed you to become who you are and where you are currently. You had to fight the power. All right, but now you're learning how to enjoy the pleasures of life. You're learning how to eat out the box. You're learning how to speak out the box. You're learning how to play outside the box. You're learning how to work outside the box. You're learning to conjoin your box with other boxes. You're learning to just do what it is that your path is saying that's going to release this negative energy and continue to pull in the positive energy and allow you to fill yourself with love and power and courageousness and strength, and learn how to use it in a positive light versus manifesting from a negative entity or energy. All right, you learn how to take action towards what it is that you desire, what it is that you need in life, and what it is that you take from life. You just allow your inner knowing, your intuition, your discernment, your prosperity to continue to lead your way. And that is what's bringing you joy in your life. Okay, so if this reading resonates, like, share, subscribe, always comment. If it doesn't still, like, share, subscribe, always comment. Thank you.